Welcome, guys, to the Canadiens Cafe podcast with your host, Nick, and my co host, Grant.
Hello, hello.
Today, I'm wearing a black Habs hat because it's a little somber after what happened last night to Kaiden Guhle.
So,
I knew that
uh,
this would be the number one topic tonight.
yeah, all right, fine. I'm wearing all black technically too, so sure. All right, fine. We'll pay our respects.
It's to pay respects to a season. I don't know.
They
It's,
said indefinite, yeah.
yeah, well, one thing that was said is it's uncertain, like how long it's going to be.
Yeah,
But
indefinite.
I've read some stuff that it could be 4 to 6 months, it could be 4 to 6 weeks, it could be 2 weeks. I doubt
It's
it.
the knee. It's the knee, eh?
Well,
So
yeah, it's his
yeah,
second knee injury. It's only a second
yeah.
knee injury. That's the thing. He's got so many different injuries that people say that he's just got bad luck. It's not that he's injury prone. It's
It's they're the
he's got
same.
horrible luck.
Yeah,
None of the
yeah.
injuries are similar. Like he's never had the same injury twice since playing
No,
the Habs.
no. But his knee is really knocked up now, or his knees anyway. Yeah.
I'm more worried about Reinbacher's knees if you think about it.
Well, if they alternate, maybe if one player plays 40 games a season and the other one plays 40 games a season. Now, worst case scenario, if this is next season we're
They
talking
sh
about,
Should they also share
and
a salary?
well,
At
I
that point,
I wish it
uh,
worked that way where you play 40% of the season or you play 50% of the season, you get 50% of your salary. But
but it can't work that way. Or for it to count against the cap. Well, I think it does do that for counting against.
LTIR, yeah, LTIR is the only way if you put them on
He
there.
might
But
end up on LTIR if
he
he,
might end up on LTIR. You're right.
but like they still don't seem very certain. Like it's evident it's at least 4 weeks. I don't know why I said 2 weeks. He got surgery this
Yeah,
month. At least
indefinite
4 weeks.
indefinite doesn't mean it might mean 1 month, but
It
like you
might
said,
it could
four to
be
six weeks. But
or
yeah,
4 months. Thing is, thing is, when Reinbacher got his surgery on his knee, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's 5 to 6 months easily." Or same thing with Doc. Like we knew,
they knew right away. Yeah, he had the surgery apparently though, which helps. Like the surgery
yeah,
is done now, but now it's just recovery mode,
yeah,
which
yeah.
that
And we
takes
all
time.
know how long it takes to recover from a knee injury. Look at Doc; it took him half a season. It actually took him
Yeah,
half a season to hit where he needs to hit.
yeah.
And I'm starting to see that like he's now looking better than Line 5-on-5.
He is. He is. Yeah.
Line though, why he's so good, and this is something that I think they should do. They should play Line on the entire power plays, 2 minutes,
Yep. I
like
agree.
because he doesn't actually need to move much, and just
No, and we don't really ask him to back check. Like we don't we don't
especially
we,
on
we
the
don't expect
especially
that
on
of
the
him,
power play, 2 minutes.
especially on the power play.
That's what I mean. Like especially on the power play, he really is your biggest weapon. Just leave him out there for two
Yeah.
minutes. He he doesn't need to play all the time 5-on-5. And I heard something about Joe Jarac was like criticizing him for the way he plays 5-on-5 and like how he's not worth his money. But it's not about the money. It's about like just him getting back to normal through
There are a
injury.
million more positives that I can think of Patrick Laine than negatives. Like I'm
Exactly.
not he's
But
he's not here for that. You know what I mean? He's here to help get the offense going. He's here. He's Patrick Laine. Like you
yeah,
can use
exactly.
him for
But
being Patrick Laine.
my point I was trying to make is like he shouldn't have criticized Line for that matter. But truth is,
I don't.
it's nice to see Doc on the right path. The second line is doing a bit better. Last
It
night,
is.
I lost 4-1, but I cannot fault I feel like I can't fault anyone in particular
It was a
necessarily.
lost. It was a lost period. I find the first period was very solid. You
Third was
kind of
good,
the third was a good retaliation as well, just not
but you
enough in
just
there.
couldn't score
They
on
lost the game in the second
plus
period.
plus the Jets, they shut you down. They're a great team, but they tend to choke in the playoffs every year.
Yeah,
So I feel
yeah.
like it might be the same thing, but someone because like I said last night, oh, I think they can win a round or two, which I still do think that, and
Well,
I'll
Hellebuck can steal a series easily, easily.
but he hasn't done it yet.
Not yet. hasn't really had to yet. Yeah.
Well, he's had to kind of. I mean, look,
Well, I mean Edmonton, but yeah.
last year they lost in 5 games to Colorado. The year before, who'd they lose to? They lose in five. I think it was yeah. Who did they lose to?
Wasn't it Edmonton? Or Edmonton played LA.
No, Edmonton
Vancouver?
always plays LA first round. So don't.
Yeah,
At this
right.
point, it's a known thing. It may happen again. But let's just check for fun. Like if the playoffs,
Minnesota? Winnipeg typically plays Minnesota a lot too.
yeah, but they didn't play them in the playoffs because Minnesota
No.
didn't get past the first round either. I can tell you
Yeah.
that. So if the playoffs were to start today,
Was it Nashville? No. Because
let's
Nashville made the playoffs last year, didn't they?
yes, but they were not. No, Winnipeg lost to Colorado. Sorry, I mean 2 years ago. Let's
Right.
go back to 2 seasons ago because that's
Yeah.
what. So 2 seasons ago, Winnipeg. Oh, okay, yeah, they got. Oh, they got hammered by Vegas. Okay, that's different. Like,
Vegas. Yeah.
but like last year, it was an even. It could have been gone either way against Colorado, but they just couldn't get it done.
No. Well, Colorado was still like in win now mode too.
Well,
Winnipeg is up
are
there,
they
but
though? What they just did,
well,
they're struggling now. Well, yes,
they're
they're not
struggling.
good
Well, I
now,
mean, they also had a
but
bunch of injuries.
no, but like the trade, the Rantanen trade, like that right there,
Unbelievable.
it's
Um,
unbelievable. I guess they couldn't sign him, but I've never seen a team actually trade the guy like that.
Carolina is my cup favorite right now.
Oh yeah, me too.
Uh, like I
They're
think they can
set.
do it. Yeah, I think they
The
can do
only
it.
thing is questionable is their goaltending. Can it stay up?
Goaltending. I mean,
And Frederick
they
stay up?
just needed to ride it out.
Yeah,
They just need
exactly.
to ride it out. Yeah, but I really feel like Carolina is the favorite to win it now.
Yeah, me too. And it's good because it's actually the way the Habs are building their team. They don't have like any like
Yep.
superstar talent like at forward. Well, they do will have Demidov, but like at center, they don't have like the superstar. And Sebastian Aho is pretty good, but like he's not a superstar. But Nick Suzuki pretty much lines up pretty well with
With
Aho
him, you're
overall.
right.
It's a
Yeah, he does.
similar style of play.
Yeah.
They can
I
hit.
mean, Carolina's defense is a bit more sound, if you want to say it like that.
Yes,
But
but it's also because it's through years of getting
yeah,
things together with like
yeah,
your Slavins.
yeah.
They did lose a lot of those defensemen too.
They
Over
they did.
well, they had to. I think
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
it is. It is. But Carolina built their team really well.
Yeah,
There are a lot of comparables now that I like look at it.
like
Yeah,
Montreal's in the young stage that let's say look at Carolina 8 years ago. That's probably where
I can see
Montreal's
that.
at.
Yeah,
Like right before like Aho got kind of broke out.
like the breakthrough.
Right before you got that like the
Yeah,
offer sheet. That that's a
it
good
is.
comparison
It
to
really
see.
is.
And also now about the goaltending part for Carolina going forward, but I would put in a little money just to say they'll win the cup though, because it is a good bet. Like
Yeah,
a lot of people say
and
Taylor Hall is completely like washed up, but I don't agree with that.
me neither. I think he can add that certain like thing, like like when your players in the playoffs aren't really waking up. I feel like he can be the kind of guy to like not step up and contribute with the goal factor
Right?
maybe as much, but he can definitely step in and be like take the pressure off of the big guys. You know,
Yeah, like I'm
I don't know
looking
how
at
to
the
say it like
yeah
if you
he
would like
fits in
properly
with
like that, but like he can definitely take away some of the stress. What's that?
he fits perfectly next to Kotkaniemi and Svechnikov.
That's exactly where I'd put him, and yeah, he
Balance.
really does look good there.
They have a very good balanced lineup, honestly.
They really do.
And they don't have any like superstars. I feel like they'll have less superstars going forward than Montreal will during Montreal's competitive years. But honestly, that's a good
Yeah,
team to.
Does Carolina have most of their guys signed?
I mean,
I'm not sure. Does Carolina have most of their guys signed?
no, it's a 1 year thing. It's a 1 year. They're doing this on a 1 year
They're
thing.
doing. I kind of figured they're kind of yeah, because they're kind of in
Instead of
win now
throwing,
mode as well,
they
and
do
they
it
haven't
a
reached
lot of
that
guys,
final mark.
but a lot they're gonna lose a lot of guys in the long run, and they
They
are
will. Yeah,
So
they
it's a
will.
1 year thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Edmonton, they're probably approaching that too. Honestly,
Yeah,
it could be a battle. This could be a rematch of the 2006 Stanley Cup Finals. I would
that'd be
love to
really
see
cool.
Edmonton win,
I'd love to see that. Oh yeah, of course.
but
Yeah, but that would still be a very good final.
yeah, that actually would be a good final to see. It's one that I would definitely hope to see. I might
And
even put
one
money on that final to happen.
one on the way also like on the Eastern Conference is you had a few. Oh, I'm not sure if it was like last year or a few years ago, but where Washington totally just blew it against Carolina. And the way Washington is playing now, you could potentially see that matchup in the Eastern Conference as well if things continue. And that would be
Yeah.
something to see as well.
Well, that would be more of a second round thing because they're in the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, second round for it would be on the en route to the final, but that would also be something very cool to see as well.
Yeah, I'm starting. And speaking of which, I'm starting to feel like the don't really have much of a chance of making the playoffs now. It is
They can. They're fighting for it. They're
they're
fighting
fighting
for a
for it,
spot, which is what
and
we well, which is what I wanted anyway.
it's what we all wanted. But the thing, losing Guhle, it might hurt a little bit.
It definitely
Hurt a lot.
Heineman is a big loss as well.
Well, Heineman comes back in
Uh,
2 weeks.
yeah, and luckily that the Four Nation faceoff is taking up game space, so that's kind of good for
Yeah,
him to
he'll be
recover
back
up there.
right after.
Exactly, which
So
helps
we're
us
good with
there.
that. But speaking of positives on the injury front, David Reinbacher. I don't know if you saw some of the.
That's who he's on ice. Yeah, he's on ice. He's
He looks
skating.
pretty smooth out there. Surprisingly, for a knee injury, you think that,
Yeah,
but
is he wearing the brace? I
for
think he is.
sure.
Eh,
I
for
didn't
sure,
see.
has to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's only been 4 months.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely an upside to see for sure.
But I find the injuries that happen to the Habs are always the worst luck ones. Like the big look at when Doc got completely like hammered last night.
Yeah.
And look at the injury in the corner that Kaiden Guhle had. What on the surface do you think would looked worse based off the way they
Well,
fell?
the hit definitely. I saw a picture on Twitter recently that it looked like his skate hit his knee, which is what caused the injury when Gully fell. Maybe that's what it was more than the actual like him
That's what
falling
it
and
was.
stuff.
Yeah,
But
that's
it,
what it
it
was.
must it must have been the skate
But it's
making
all like
contact with the
they
knee.
they have like the worst falls or the worst luck. Like, what were the chances of Emil Heineman getting hit by a
Well,
car?
Matheson also lost his skates there for two or three times when we were in the offensive zone. I'm not sure if it was the ice or something to do with that, but there was definitely something there where they were falling a lot.
I know Matheson fell twice on the same.
Yeah, on the same shift.
They
Yeah,
never really lost the puck during that time. They were lucky, but like it was
yeah.
like, oh, and speaking of Matheson, do you see all the hate he's been getting though? Just because of what happened Saturday. And
So I'm gonna make it clear right now.
Matheson
The
is,
person, like the Matheson, the person. If you're shit talking the person, what is wrong with you?
yeah, exactly.
No place for that. If you're critiquing his hockey style, I think you're perfectly valid doing that
Yeah, exactly.
because you're talking about his play on the ice. If you say he's shit on the ice, I'm okay saying that. If you're like he's struggling, like we don't have
He's
to
in a
build him up.
struggle. Oh,
He's in a struggle. He's in a struggle. You can critique his play. You can critique his play on the ice. No issue there. You can say what you want with that. But if you're talking to him about a person, like I mean, like who does that? I know there's idiots out there that do that, but like
yeah,
majority of Habs fans I know
would never talk like
would
that.
never talk about Matheson being a shitty person at all.
No, he's a great
And
guy.
if you're gonna talk about his family and shit like that, like don't even bother. Like what's wrong with you?
Uh,
Critiquing his ice play, then we can have a discussion. Then we can talk about that because yeah, he hasn't been the best this season.
No, he's taken us
He's taken yeah,
like step back, and
he's
you know
definitely taken a step back, and you're absolutely okay to say that.
and you know what? It's not a shock, especially with Hudson coming in. But one thing I didn't like about them is playing them together. They're two
You can't.
offensive
You
defense,
can't. You really
and
you can't.
you really got to like split them up. And it kind of sucks that Gooley got hurt because like he was working so well.
He was. He was. He like
And
you
it
said,
looked like he
he
was doing a really good job with Hudson last night too.
he really was. Yeah. I liked
I
what they did
don't
there with that
love,
line.
and now what's gonna happen is Hudson is gonna probably play with Carrier. While it looks good, like when you see both sides, and one's more defensive, one's more offensive, they're both under 6 foot. I don't love that either, but that's what needs to happen.
Not the
I
end
mean
of the
that
world, but
that's
it is a factor. Yeah,
in the playoffs that would be more of a problem probably.
definitely, definitely.
But I guess
I
we
mean,
don't have
look,
to worry about that right now. Right now,
no, because it's still before the trade deadline, so you never know if we can pick someone up.
yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
we, or
get a
even I don't
body
know. You
like
look at Laval's defense, who's over 6 foot. Maybe you do that,
over
but
6 foot. I mean, Mayu, but Mayu doesn't have the defensive game right now.
yeah, no. So again, it's before trade deadline, so there's definitely some thoughts there to kind of like prepare. It's a good temporary band aid, no problem with that.
Yeah, well,
Um,
no, they're going with Jaden Struble though. They called him up,
yeah, they called him up today. Yeah,
which seems logical and at
a
the
chance to redeem himself. You kind of get more of an answer where if he's ready or not. Now is a big chance for him to
yeah.
step up.
Well, now I think a lot of the problem with him in the recent weeks when he was playing for the Habs was just rust because he was sitting in the press box being young. It's not like
Yeah, he was in Laval, so now that helps for sure. Yeah,
Pizzetta, like, yeah, you can't play him a lot of, like, on a lot of shifts, but you know what he's going to bring, just energy. Whereas
yeah.
Struble, I think, is a little more complex. Like he still needs to like grow a little bit as a player. Whereas Pizzetta, I think he is what he is, and we just got to accept what he
So
is.
yeah, that's another thing I saw too. Like, I mean, I'm not really expecting. I know hockey, like hockey players, you're expecting them to score and stuff. I'm not expecting Pizzetta to score anything out there. I
It was
think
hard to watch him miss that open net though yesterday. With
it is.
everyone
He's
else
still a
making
hockey
it.
player, yes, but yeah,
No, but he can score. He has scored in the
he
past.
can.
But
Yeah, he
I
is.
think this year it's just he's got more of a limited role,
Well,
and
that line was a shutdown line.
the line originally was with Armia, Evans, Heineman. Yeah, well that
It
too.
was.
It was a shutdown line, but honestly, when they go and shut down teams at the end of the game, Suzuki plays on that line no matter what. You'll often see
Yeah,
Suzuki, Evans, and Armia. Just you throw those guys out. Those are your three
yeah.
best defensive players, and that's why they're the three best to protect a lead. I don't know if Dvorak, besides winning a faceoff, is really the best.
No, but he's not typically on. Well, I mean, yeah, he's on
Well,
the
some
fourth or
yeah,
third line. Yeah,
unfortunately.
he is.
What I am not
But
understanding is while Heineman is out, they're putting Dvorak all of a sudden on the power play, like the second power play, instead of like
I
Josh.
think that's exactly what you said, though. I think that's to win the faceoff, so we get the puck.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like he wasn't on there before. Before Newhook had to take the face off, or Doc had to take the face off on the other side, which you already can do that, but maybe they really do want him to just be there for the face off. That's why he starts every overtime for that one reason. A lot of people
Yeah,
it often works,
it does.
but it doesn't. When it doesn't work, it gets criticized. But I
Yeah.
understand it, and I think Jake Evans, if they sign him, will be that guy next year.
Did you hear the rumors about the salary cap though?
What about the salary cap?
That it's potentially going to go up in the next 3 years to 97 million,
Yeah, I heard that, but
which that definitely helps the case.
I just don't know about with the Canadian dollar. With the Canadian dollar being under 70 cents US,
Yeah, yeah,
that's a little scary.
that's gonna hurt. That's
That
definitely gonna
that
hurt.
that might hurt the cap a bit.
Yeah.
Even though they all get paid in US dollars anyways, you know that, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if they play in Montreal, but
No, no. It's, the league goes
they
by
do have to
American.
pay
Yeah.
the taxes of when they
Local to
play
where
in
they play.
Montreal. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not, and I think you were the one that told me this, that it's wherever they play. Let's say like when a player plays in Montreal, even if he's playing for Tampa, he's paying the
They
tax
get he's paying the tax of Montreal or Quebec tax or whatever it may be. Yeah,
during that
exactly.
game for that
During that game. Yeah.
for like that.
That's how the NHL splits it. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I found that
like,
out through Alan Walsh's podcast. Yeah.
oh, that's pretty
The
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
agent
you
provocateur,
mentioned that,
SVPN.
and like I remember it was definitely you that said it to me, and yeah, it was like that's a very interesting fact, and that's
Yeah.
why, of course, Toronto, Montreal, it's one of the highest taxes in the league. for
Yeah.
sure. But you know,
But it also leads to the sense of that's why players tend to not play like more in the Atlantic, or it leads to more players leaning towards
yeah,
which teams have more American, like the Metropolitan. There's no, I don't think there's a Canadian team in that
no,
division.
they don't have any Canadian team.
So there
The
you go.
only,
They're not paying
the
Canadian
only
tax at
division
all.
that has no Canadian team because the Central only has Winnipeg,
Central has Winnipeg.
and then
Pacific has. Oh, don't they have one of Edmonton or Calgary?
uh, the
Central.
Pacific. No, Pacific has Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver.
It has all three. It has both. I thought. Okay. I thought. I thought one of. I thought one of
They're all
Edmonton
in the
was in
same division.
Central. Oh, okay. I thought one of Edmonton was in Central and one of Pacific was with
But that also is why like Tampa and Florida get like a lot of
the
good
Atlantic. Yeah.
agents. But you that's why you got to draft your players or make
Yes.
the right
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah.
And I think eventually a Canadian team has to win the Stanley Cup soon for real.
I mean, there's more and more Canadians in the finals. From 2011, you had Vancouver. Well, I mean, if you want to go even before that, 2007 with the Senators, 2006 with the Oilers,
2004 with Calgary
with
Flames in the
Calgary.
Stanley Cup. I don't care. They won it. That
The
was a
puck
goal.
crossed the line.
That was a
The
goal.
puck crossed the
It was
line.
a goal.
Didn't Bettman even agree to that? Didn't he say like in a recent like interview or something? He said like, yeah, the puck
I
crossed the line
believe
or
it. I
something.
mean, it's it was too late to fix.
Exactly, right? So like I think he even admitted it or something like that.
I'm
But
sure he would have admitted it too, and it is what it is.
like 20 years down the line, I'm pretty sure he admitted it.
You
I'm
can't
pretty
really like
sure.
it doesn't matter at this point. It
Right?
was Calgary. Calgary's probably pissed about it, but now it's in the past. Say
Yeah,
got a Stanley Cup. Good. That's a positive from that in the end.
that's true.
Yeah, you never would have
You
won it.
have that. Yeah, so yeah, 04 with Calgary there, 06 with Edmonton making the final,
Yeah,
7 with Ottawa making the final, 11 with Vancouver.
but we didn't have one for 10 years after Vancouver. I don't think.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, exactly. And then Edmonton's gonna make another cup final. They made it last year, but they're gonna make another one because
They're gonna make another one.
they're built to win a cup eventually. Just on the
Really, they
back
are.
of two of the five best players in the NHL for sure.
They win one game after that 3-1 advantage that they had. It's done.
Yeah,
Like it's done. Like it's gonna happen. The Edmonton is definitely winning a cup.
yeah, they
Like
have.
you said, we even talked about this at the beginning of the show. We said Edmonton, Carolina. We basically predicted it.
Yeah, that's how I see it. That's
Yeah.
how I'm gonna predict it right now. It'd be nice to see. I remember as a kid watching the 2006 Stanley Cup Finals. It was all special. My family hooked up. Remember those little like TV antennas?
Yep.
I only had a
With the
TV.
little aluminum foil. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had they put one of those so I can watch it while I fall asleep, go to bed. I was like, 9 years old, so like
Yeah. I had one of those little TVs, and I remember when Global Montreal used to like broadcast a few of the games on Saturday there for.
It was always CBC.
I remember Global. I think Ottawa had a Global. I
Maybe
think
that's it.
so. I was able to catch the Ottawa game there with my antennas as well.
No,
Yeah.
no, it was always on CBC for Montreal, and like during the 2011 playoffs, we didn't where I was living with my mom, we didn't have cable, and
Right.
so
Yeah.
we did
Antenna
that.
with the antenna TVs were a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to work.
Yep.
You can't do that anymore, I don't think.
No, they stopped it after I think maybe a couple years after that, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It- yeah, I would say that. But no, like yeah, no. So to get back on track, yeah, Edmonton, like they just have the right players that can
It's
just
a
kind
matter
of
of time.
carry you on their back. And that McDavid solidified himself as probably the most skilled player in our lifetime
Yeah.
last year in the playoffs.
Yep.
Crosby is good, but he had more like pieces around him, like Fleury, Malkin,
Yeah, they
Letang.
built a team. And Pittsburgh always had a team around them. Like I mean, okay, fine, they had like their era where they weren't great, but they had a transition period from when they went from Lemieux and Yager and all them to
Yeah,
where they are now with Crosby, Malkin.
which now they're done there. It's done.
Yeah. Like
It's
I remember the 09-10 Penguins, like Dupree, freaking what's his name?
but
Not Mac Brooks Orpik. They were insane, those
Max
guys.
Talbot down in the
Max
line.
Talbot. Max Talbot, yeah, exactly.
I just remember he scored the two goals in the '09 Stanley Cup Finals to help them win.
Yeah,
It was definitely a special run for Crosby and
absolutely.
McDavid. Though it's just he doesn't have like the proper defense and goaltending behind him. Him and Draisaitl, they're the two best duo
Yeah,
wise that we've seen in our lifetime, but they don't. Problem is they lack on defense. Like Bouchard's
yeah.
good offensively, but the defensive side lacks a little bit.
They've
You
been trying to find it, but it's just it hasn't clicked yet.
got Matthias Ekholm. He's a good defenseman, but he's
Yeah,
like that like spectacular defensive defenseman. They could win, but
I can see it.
like they're not gonna win in the like traditional way of like trying to build the perfect team. A lot of teams try and do that. They're not gonna win in a Vegas way. They're not gonna win.
I mean, well, Vegas. First of all, players want to go to Vegas.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, McDavid is the reason why players want to go to Edmonton.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. The cheap little contracts, Jeff Skinner, Victor
I
Arvidsson.
love, I love that one. By the way, I love the Jeff Skinner signing to Edmonton.
That was a good signing, yeah,
That
to
was a really good one for them.
take advantage of that. But
Yeah,
I
they really
think
did.
the guys were signing like 1 year deals last year or this past summer because they're expecting the cap to hit hard. I've seen a lot of 1 year deals in the last
Yeah,
couple. They're just kind of like waiting to find that hit on that
that big jump. Yeah,
like
I could see definitely a big free agency list coming in the next year or two for sure.
well, yeah, there's gonna be some big free agents. I
There's
think
going to be
Martin
some big
actually hits the
names.
market.
You think? Yeah, I think Marner hits the market.
No, Ranton, I said.
Oh, Rantanen.
He's gonna hit the market, I think. And Marner too.
Yeah,
Marner's gonna have to hit the market somehow.
yeah.
He might end up back with the Leafs again.
There's definitely signs of that, like signs of that point. That definitely signs of it pointing to that. Um,
But like
yeah,
I don't see why they would keep Marner. It's just been the same core over and over again. You've only gotten out of the first round once in the 8 years that
it's Toronto. Um, we
it's
if they would have done it 3 years ago, they would have done it 3 years ago. I don't think they're ever going to move away from that.
after that loss to the Habs, that's when it was the time. That's when I think people
Yeah,
started to realize, like, okay, something needs to give. One of Nylander, Marner, or Tavares has to go. I don't think Matthews was ever the
no,
guy.
I think Matthews is the guy that they're going to keep. I think he's like the one that's like
Matthews is
untouchable.
always the guy that you should keep. You should not. You
Exactly.
should always build around a guy like Matthews. He's that good. Marner is an
Yeah.
amazing playmaker, but they're a lot easier to find.
Yep.
So I remember last week we were talking about like kind of playoffs, like who we think will actually make it.
Yeah.
Remember how I said Ottawa is like a certain?
Yep.
It's starting to feel that way lately because
Definitely.
they kind of like moved their way ahead of Tampa.
Yeah, there was a few good crucial games there that happened.
Yeah, I was talking with my dad about it.
They yeah, they jumped up there for sure.
He's like Ottawa. He's like obviously the Rangers are going to make it, but all of a sudden the Rangers just had a horrible week again. Like they just did not pass
They're
the
struggling.
they should have. Like it's like the Rangers are an up and down roller coaster. I thought they had turned the corner recently, but I guess
They're gonna be a fun team to watch around trade deadline.
the
I
Rangers.
definitely
You
yeah,
don't
I
know what
think
they're
they're
gonna. Are they
hmm?
gonna? Are they
I
gonna?
think they're gonna buy. I think they're gonna buy. I really do. I don't think they're selling. I don't think they're giving up.
It's hard to say
Um,
what they're gonna do, really.
if they're out of the playoff picture like the way they are now in sixth, um, yeah, I think then that's when they really consider selling for a draft pick or something. But um, I don't know if they're fighting for a playoff spot. I think they're a team you can call
Oh yeah,
and be like, we're gonna take advantage of that. But
yeah. I think, and then Montreal. I don't know what Montreal's gonna do. What we're gonna see the Habs do.
if we need a defenseman, I think we make a move for a defenseman.
Like what?
Maybe.
Like a like mid
Do you
round.
think do you think we call about Letang?
No,
You don't think we call about Letang?
his contract is like too much to really move unless you send Matheson back. I know, but that sounds
They
crazy.
wouldn't. Yeah, I mean it's Dubas, right? He wasn't there for the trade for. Did he trade Matheson away?
I think he did. I think it was him.
Okay, yeah. If it's him, then no, he wouldn't want him back.
No, it was all to
Uh,
get Petrie though. It was about, but no, Matheson really proved himself over the years. I'm just saying that because if Gooley didn't actually get hurt, I think it would be a good move to actually swap Matheson and Letang at this point.
yeah, but I don't think Pittsburgh bites
But yeah, no, there.
unless you move Savard, but even him, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I just don't love Letang's contract. He's
Yeah,
37.
definitely not.
He's got another 3 years after this at $6 million.
Definitely not. No,
It's
no.
not a good
Can't
contract.
use is definitely better than that.
That's not the contract to play with.
No.
No, they would get something more, like a lesser talent, someone that you can kind of plug in.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I guess now they're gonna split Hudson and Matheson for good.
Right.
I wonder if they try and bring Matheson and Savard back together.
Could be. I
But
want to
then that
look
would
up
leave
somewhere.
Struble and Jacka. But it has to be done because the truth is we don't have enough right-handed defense.
We don't.
Like maybe we should have, but who the heck would we have called up from Laval anyways? That was right-handed. Unless you don't want to throw Mayu in because Mayu's defense is not ready yet. It's not.
No, definitely not. I don't. I wouldn't put him in that position because it's not his position for him to play
The perfect
or
guy.
his role.
Want to know who the perfect guy is? Reinbacher, but he doesn't have enough pro experience in North America
Right.
to go to Laval. It will be nice to see him play in Laval next month.
Yeah.
By the end of February, he'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll probably get to see him live on March 5th. Those
Could
tickets I
be.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it will be nice to see how he plays live.
It will be. Here we go.
Do you see
Submission.
do you see like a potential trade asset? Is that what you're looking at?
I'm looking at free agents in 2025.
Oh, the free agents for 2025. Yeah. That's well, I know for the 2025 free agents, I don't see many defensemen that would be worth looking at, but there's some interesting
There is.
forwards, definitely.
Um,
The forward group, like you got like a Sam Bennett. We try to go after a Sam Bennett for
it's
sure.
it's not a pretty list. I mean, there's a few names that I'm looking at, but it's not a pretty list. Noel Juleson, he's on there.
Who?
Noah Juleson,
Well, yeah.
but I mean, you kind of want to avoid that happening again, right?
Right. Well, he's also a product of serious injuries, kind of just.
Exactly, which is what we're trying to solve here. So he wouldn't really
But
be a
no, the
solution, I don't
defense,
think.
the defense for that, you don't need defense necessarily in free agency. It's not the prettiest list.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It's not.
But when you look at the forwards in the draft in this class, that's amazing. Have you
Yeah,
seen the
it,
forward?
it depends what they're gonna be asking for in the market for sure. I mean, there's a reason why they're going into free agency. So it is going to cost you, but there is a good list out there for sure.
You know who wants to come to Montreal? I can tell you right now, Ehlers.
Yeah. Well, didn't he play for?
Well, yeah, he played.
There's
Well,
something
he
there
played.
about. There's a playoff story there for with either it was with Hughes or it was with Gordon or St. It was one of those options there.
No, Ehlers. Well, he's best friends with Line, and he played
That's what it was.
Mooseheads.
The Mooseheads. That's who it was. Yeah, yeah. Because remember the playoffs? That was a story where he protected Evans after the Shifley hit, where he's
Yeah,
under him and kind of covered him over. Yeah, I
that,
remember that story.
that
Yeah.
was amazing of him.
That's okay. I know there's like 3 minutes left. What the hell was Shifley doing it was Shifley again
Yeah,
with Evans, wasn't it?
yeah.
Okay, what the hell is his deal? Like, why is he so freaking on him? Like, what's his deal?
I don't know.
Like, is it to get under? Is it to get under his skin? Like, what's your
Maybe,
freaking problem?
well, last night it was to try and get under his skin, but like
You're winning
because
four
it's
one. Like,
because Evans, it looks way worse. If he had done that against Suzuki, we wouldn't
yeah,
have said anything.
yeah. I was just trying to get it in the players' heads, But like, wait, freaking Evans again. Like, if I
It's
was a
just
Habs player,
Theo
I wouldn't
Evans.
care. I would have done something to get him out of the game.
Yeah,
And the boost too. The fans remembered,
we're
obviously.
we're
Of
always
course we
gonna
do.
boo him forever. He's
Always.
still Kreider in Montreal.
Yeah, we do.
So
We do.
and that was what
Yeah.
7 years earlier.
Right? Yeah.
So I mean, the boos will always come to those
Yeah.
guys who. But the Bell Center has been very loud lately, and it should be interesting to see like how they play tomorrow against Minnesota.
If you're going to the game tomorrow, please. He deserves a cheer. He deserves a chant. Um, I know Guy is known as to be the flower, but Fleury is known as
I'm
flower, so it's a little
not going,
different.
but yeah,
So I think it's okay. Um,
it's well.
if you are going, I'm definitely gonna cheer him on. Definitely give him a little standing O.
Oh, you're going,
Definitely deserves it. Well, I'm working the game.
or are
I'll
you
be
going?
working the game, so I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be working the game. I'm going,
Oh,
but
nice.
like working. But
Okay, well, you still can take a minute to cheer him on.
I can still go up there and cheer him on. Exactly. I did that with Delory. Still do.
Yeah. So it should be an interesting game again against Minnesota. Hope for the best, but we've had
Yeah,
bad luck against them. Let's just
we
hope
have,
the
but
game
let's
and
hope.
Dobesh plays another good one.
Yeah, the new guy versus the vet.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, this has been our Canadians Cafe podcast. Have a good week, everyone. Go Habs,
Go
go.
Habs, go. All right.